Medicare does not pay for long-term care. You have Medicare to pay for your doctor's appointments, your health, your hospital visits, that sort of thing, but it does not pay for long-term care. What does? Medicaid does. And that's what we're going to be talking about now. For those of you who are close to our office here in Spokane, and given that it is coming up on Thanksgiving, I want to show you this book. And this has all to do about Medicaid Secrets. I co-authored this book. If you're interested in getting your own copy of this book, and the price on this book is $49. But during this time of year, during this season of giving, if you stop by our office, 711 West Indiana Avenue in Spokane, and simply bring some food that you want to donate, bring in that food, those cans, boxes, whatever you think would be good to donate during this Thanksgiving holiday, and you will get a free book on Medicaid Secrets. So we want to encourage you to come by, bring your can of food or whatever, your bags of food. We'll make sure that they get to the local food bank for you, and you will end up with your own Medicaid Secrets book. One of the things about this book is it's pretty easy to read, but you're not going to be a Medicaid expert after you read it, but it will give you a lot of really good information. So what kind of information will you be getting from the Medicaid book? One of the things that you will learn is what the standards are, how the program works, all of that. But one of the secrets I want to share with you today about the Medicaid benefits program here in Washington State is that it does not need to be an impoverishment program if you are married, because married people are allowed to keep far more money than a single person. For a single person, there's certain exceptions to the rule that you can't give away money. And if you're a single person, please reach out to an elder law attorney who can help you if you're looking at long-term care costs. And that's a subject for a whole different discussion. But the secret for married persons is it doesn't have to be an impoverishment program. And I'm going to show you more about this hugely important fact that if you are married, you do not need to spend down all of your money to qualify as spouse for Medicaid long-term care benefits. You know what most people do, and why I really find it very important to share this information with you, is most people, they don't want to go to a lawyer. Why? Lawyers cost money. So they do what they think that they should do, which is they think that they should, okay, well, I've heard Medicaid, you have to spend down, so I'm going to start spending down. I'm going to spend down money and pay for the care. And then they start getting really concerned because the money is getting low. And then they're saying, well, do I need to sell the house too? And then if you're a couple situation, you know, the one who's the well spouse is going to be saying, well, what's my future going to look like after my spouse dies? Because all of our money is going to pay for the care of the first spouse. And will I be left with nothing? Will I be impoverished? Those are excellent questions to ask. And if you're asking those, or if you know of somebody who's asking those questions, please see an elder law attorney, because as I just said, Medicaid is not an impoverishment program for couples in the state of Washington. And if anybody tells you it is, seek a second opinion. Oh, and by the way, once this couple who didn't get any advice from an attorney, an elder law attorney, does all that, spends all their money, maybe they keep their house and don't sell it. At the end of the day, do you know who gets the house? Not the kids. The state is going to get the house, because there's going to be a lien on the house because no elder law attorney was involved to protect those assets and protect the family members who would have received those assets. So no surprise, most people don't want that outcome. Sadly, many people have that outcome, all because they don't know what they don't know. And that's one of the goals with educating and is to share this information, that you can take steps so that you do not become that impoverished person. This is Medicaid. There is a lot that goes on with Medicaid. It's a complex program. The rules aren't well known. Very few lawyers actually have expertise in that area. If you find one, they are a gem because they will save you literally hundreds of thousands of dollars in the face of long-term care costs. So let me give you an example of what we here at ELG Estate Planning call a Medicaid asset preservation strategy. That's the term that we use when we're working with clients to put a plan into place to make sure that they can keep all the assets that Medicaid's rules say they can keep if you know the rules. So when both spouses are alive, but one is sick, if you seek an elder law attorney with Medicaid experience, you are going to learn about how to qualify the sick spouse for Medicaid, yet the well spouse gets to keep most, if not all, of their money, all of their assets. So here's the example. Let's take Joan and John, and they're in their 70s. They have an estate that's worth $1 million. $1 million, which consists of a house that's worth $500,000, and then they have $500,000 in their bank and their investment accounts. Now, in this example, Joan, the wife, has advanced dementia. John has been taking care of her for years, which is very common that the spouse without the dementia will be that person to care for their spouse and take care of them as long as they can, because everybody wants to stay in their home. Nobody wants to move from their home to a facility. And John's doing his best. And for years, he's taken care of Joan. But at some point in time, what happens? Often the caregiver spouse will get sick. They could die, but let's say they are just tired. They've been taking care of the person for so long. They're in their 70s as well. Maybe they have some health conditions. And they can't take care of their spouse anymore. And the family knows this. Everybody knows this. And it's just reached that point where John says, I can't take care of Joan any longer. I need to find a care facility. How is he going to do that? Well, one of the gems, one of the secrets I want you to know about, he doesn't have to do that on his own. There are people who are called aging care managers, and they will help John find the right placement for Joan. So keep that in mind, that you're not on your own. There are so many resources that can help you find the right care, the right placement. So John does. With help, he finds the right place for Joan. It's going to be an adult family home, and that adult family home will have usually it has about 6 residents. There's some that are a little bit different that might have more, but it's a nice homey setting, and Joan likes it there. And John can finally feel that weight off of his shoulders, at least when it comes to care. But what about the costs? Because the costs can't be overlooked.